What's going on, traders? It's your boy Matt back at it again with another trading recap video of the $2,000 small account challenge that I've been doing for the last 5 days. Today, as you can see, I'm up $630. I was aiming for a thousand plus, but today was really quiet. So there's nothing you can do about that. You just take whatever the market gives you and you walk away. So as you can see, the first stock that I traded was ITCI. This one was a long trade. As you can see, I was hoping after this big washout, I was hoping it would break this highs and at least go to the 40s, but it didn't. It popped a little bit and got pulled back. I got out for a $37, almost $40 loss. Now, that's not a good start because it was actually the first trade that I executed on the day. So I actually started the day down $40, which is not a good thing, and it was a long play as well. Usually I short sell. The second stock that I traded is DPHC. This one was okay. This is not my typical stock that I trade, not my typical strategy. Basically, what happened here is I shorted this pop using this kind of as a guide to have it started with. As soon as it popped, I kind of covered it for a very quick $15 loss. I didn't stay longer because I didn't like it. Again, it's not really the best trade. The third one that I took was LAUR. LAUR. Now, LAUR is more kind of my kind of play. Basically, I waited for this parabolic move. I was focusing on the level 2. So what you want to see is when this is happening, when it actually is spiking like this, on the time and sales print, you see a lot of green prints and purple prints going through. We all know purple prints here in my settings. It means that someone is paying for this particular stock higher than what the ask is asking for it. So a lot of green prints, and when this starts to slow, when this slows down and you start to see a lot of red prints coming through, that is an indication of a possible top. So I had a starter there. I was hoping this could go higher a little bit so I can add more, but unfortunately it didn't give me. So I had a starter there at as you can see here, 1530. I got in at 1530 and I got out at 1475 for a quick almost $70 profit, which kind of put me back on green on the day because I had that $40 red. The next one that I took, so I went back to DPHC, which is a terrible idea because I had already traded it and I got out very quick because I didn't like it. Now the mistake that I made here was I actually had started here and then I was the same thing. I was using this as a guide, but as you can see, this was putting in lower highs. This is a very bullish indicator, and I already know that. I don't know why I got into it. It's just sometimes you just get caught into a shitty trade, and there's nothing you can do about it. Try not to make the losses bigger. So this was putting lower high, but the top was flattened out. This is a clear bullish sign. It's called a flat top breakout. So put a flat top right there in lower high. It broke. As soon as it broke, I covered there, and then I got out there. I got out completely there. So I covered some here, as you can see. If I can zoom in. So I shorted here. I got out there, and then I shorted again, and I got out completely when it starts to break out again. So this again is not a good trade. I mean, if you look at the daily chart, it looks like it was pretty much like a breakout on a daily chart as well. So this one on my part was a very just a terrible trade that I took on this one. So on that particular trade, I lost 265. So in combination, I was actually I lost almost $300. If I didn't take this 2 trades, I would have been $300 up, down, right? Now the next one that I took was BFRA. BFRA is one of the the hot stocks that happened today. One of the few plays that actually happened. I kind of made it a little bit of. I didn't execute this one as much as I should have or I could have. And the reason for that is, as you can see here, I had a starter here. I only had like $100 share starter here. The reason why is because usually my starter for this account size is 300 shares or 400 shares. But on this one, I had to do 100 shares because my risk level is high. So you don't want to have any random number as risk level. Your risk level has to be those levels where the stock previously respected. And this one here, when it pushed pre-market, was this general area around 11-11.20 was that general area where the stock kind of pull back from. So having that as a risk level, shorting here around my start was at 975, which means I have $1 something. My risk level is $1 something away. So if you have a 400 share starter here, then you're risking $400, right? But because I knew that, I only started 100 shares. If this thing went down and I make money, then great. I made money on 100 shares. I walk away. No, no harm is done. But if this thing goes the other way, I protect myself because the maximum loss that I could possibly have on this thing would have been $150 or less. But I would have added into that, holding that as a risk. So also not only is protect me from having more losses, but it also gives me room and a lot of bullets to add into that. So and then so it popped here. It tried to break on this particular candle. As you can see, it failed. When it failed, I had my second add. You see, I didn't chase into that. I added right here. The reason why I added for that is because that one felt like a rejection, and I was heavily reading onto the level 2 as well. So I added there. Now, after I added here, the mistake that I made, which if you check out yesterday's video, day 5's video, this is day 6, you would be able to see that every time it washes the support level, you have to take half, or you have to take some sort of profit, right? But on this particular trade, I didn't. And that was a mistake, because had I taken these 200 shares here, when it popped again, now I would have locked $100, $150 profit into this. And then when it popped again, I would have been able to reshort comfortably, go bigger size, and my average would have been a bit more higher. Rather than my average here starting out 870 area, 970 area, it would have been 1050, 1060. That's where my average would have been. So always make sure when something is flashing down into a support level, you take some sort of profit, lock in some gains. I didn't do that, so it popped again. I added. Now the really good thing that I did on this particular trade is it was very, because this thing went to pretty much 920. From 920, it popped all the way to 1080, right? So this is a really good bounce. Now what happened was, basically, I was able to kind of stay patient and actually respect my risk level, which was above 11. So a lot of people, I know some of my friends actually covered into this, anticipating, okay, this is gonna go parabolic, we're gonna lose a lot of money. But if you trade within a set risk level, you have a level that you're watching. So before you start your trade, obviously have those levels ready. In your mind, have it, okay, this is my risk level, and then respect it. Don't get shaken out, right? Don't get shaken out. You'll be able to see on the trade that it pulled back down and it got out. But if you didn't see this, like if you're seeing only this part like this, and this is coming up, and you see a lot of people chasing it on chat rooms and stuff like that, it looks like this was gonna go higher, right? But you have to respect your risk levels. If it doesn't touch it, don't get out, and if it touches your risk level, get out. Don't hold, don't stay. But when it pulled up second time, I got out, and then I pretty much exited there. I made almost 200 bucks on that one, which put me back on the green on the day. And now I went back to DPHC. Now I do personally have a rule where if you actually lose twice in a particular stock back to back, you don't touch it. But for some reason I kept going back to this play. Anyway, the third one that I traded here was right here on top, right this one here. I got in here quick, and I got out very quick. The reason why I got in quick and I got out quick was because I fought the front side and I lost on it. So in this one, losing on it a second time is almost unbearable, right? So you don't want to do that. So that's why I got in quick. That's why it's a terrible idea to fight a front side of the stock. You'd rather wait, right? You'd rather wait, let it put a backside, and then you can enter. So I lost $1 on that particular trade, and then I traded it for the fourth time, right? I got into this for the fourth time, all right, and then I took half, which was a bad idea because now after this massive crack, this put a backside. So this could give a lot. I mean, this thing dropped from 25 all the way to 22 $22, and I had actually a 300 share starter. As you can see on this one here, it says 300 shares, right? So I had a 300 shares starter on this one here. So this thing dropped. I took half there, and I took the last cover right there as soon as at 24. As soon as I covered it, boom, it just went down, and I just missed that. And then this one here I missed. So the only reason why, usually I would stay patient, the only reason why I missed out all this move was because I made a mistake of fighting the front side and losing on the front side. And by the time it got to the money play where I could have banked, I was already mentally exhausted from staying patient and losing on the side. So when it comes to here, you're to stay patient is like a muscle, right? When you stay patient for unnecessarily for a long period of time and you find something, you can exhaust yourself. It's like a muscle, you can tire it. And once it tires, it doesn't stay patient for the next trade, and that's the problem. That's one of the things you gotta. I shorted again. I didn't lose anything on it, which was crazy. So I traded one stock 5 times, which was you shouldn't do. And then after this, I said to myself, I'm not gonna touch it. Right here, I got it in and out. I'm not gonna touch it. Let it do what it does, and it just went without me, but that's fine. The next ticker that I traded is NNOX. Now this one is a pretty expensive one. It was a $57 stock, and I was only able to go 200 shares, right? 200 shares. So I shorted this. So this I done very well on this one, right? As you can see here, I let it go. I didn't touch it. I didn't get a fear of missing out or anything like that. I didn't touch anything. What I did was I waited for the backside, right? Even when it popped, I was really confident this was gonna go down, right? And I stayed patient all the way to here. Look at that, perfect. Yeah, look at this, all the way to here. And with 200 shares, I made $216. I made more than $1 per share. And as you can see this, I held for a long period of time. This is the money move. This is where you bank, right? But if you go back to the other one, which is DPHC, look at that. You fight the front side, you pre-exhaust yourself, and you completely miss the front, the money move, which is the backside. All right, you miss on that. The reason why that is because staying patient, being patient, it requires some sort of energy, and you can deplete that energy if you pre-exhaust it. All right, so let's jump to the next one. The next one was TGX. So there was a lot of big tickers that actually that went up. A lot of my plays didn't happen today, so that's why I was trading pretty much big caps. With this one here, similar thing. I waited for this to kind of flat top after this massive big crack. I shorted this, risking the top of that, and I covered into this. I mean, this thing gives you easy $1 move, and then I shorted here, which was a beautiful short. I mean, if I can zoom into this, this is why you gotta wait until the backside happens. So I shorted right here, as you can see, and I took some there and I took some there. So again, money move happens, and I'm bottom taking this. I'm gaining this. So the only reason why I was able to do that is because I stayed patient. I didn't pre-exhaust myself. I didn't fight the front side. If you're long, obviously this side is good, but if you're short, this side is better. So on that one, I made. I only went in 100 shares, and I made $39. So not bad. So I made 39 on this one, 39 on that one right there, and then I made on this bigger move. I actually made with 50 shares. I got in 50 shares, and I made $114. Right, so that's more than $2 per share profit that I made on it. So I made 30 something cents here, and then I made $2 per share profit. So I capitalized on that with 50 shares to make $2 per share profit. It's pretty good. I was taking some on the way as well. Okay, so the next one that I traded was AFIB. This one was a little bit tricky. Not my kind of trade, and I had to stay patient for a long period of time. I got into that, broke. So my idea was, okay, it did touch this was my risk level. Had it kind of based into this area, which it did, and it looked like it was gonna go up, I would cut my losses. So it did touch my risk, and if it looked like it was gonna go higher to the 38, 39, then I would have gotten out, right? It means that it went higher, consolidated, and then another leg up, I would be out. But I was able to stay patient again, so I didn't fight this. I didn't short into this. I shorted into this after it cracked and pullback. I shorted here. Then I was able to take there and there. The next one that I traded was the last one, and then I'm pretty sure I made almost $100 on that one. The last one that I traded was SAVA. This is aftermarket trade. This thing is still going. So I shorted there. I took some profits here. I added, so I'm short on the top, right, and I'm covering the bottom, and I covered here, and then I reshorted here, and then I took out here, and I took out here, and I made like almost $50 on that one. So that puts me altogether $630 up on a day. I was hoping I would hit 6,000 today, but I'm up $5,422. And this is in pretty much 6 days of trading. I started with $2,000. This is $5,500. That's 2.5 fold, right? So that's not bad at all. Anyway, I hope you guys will enjoy the actual trading videos. Please make sure you comment, subscribe, and if you think there's anything that I can improve on, make sure you comment it below. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, as you can see, market just opened and I just got into a startup position of 100 shares in BFRA. BFRA, as you can see, pre-market it went from 740 all the way to 1130 area. The reason why I have a 100 share startup position, not the usual 300, is because my ultimate risk level is all the way up there, 1120 area. So if this thing goes all the way up to 1120 area, I would have cut my losses and I would have walked away, right? So if you have a 300 share startup position here at 973, then you're risking $1.30 per share, which means if you have a 400 starter, then you'll be losing, you'll be willing to lose 400 shares. So what I'm doing here is basically, knowing that if this thing goes up, I'm only willing to lose $100 or $150 on this play per se. So once you determine how much you're willing to lose on the actual trade, then you'll be able to determine what your starter share size would be. So it's always relative. The more you risk, the fewer shares you go in, and the smaller cents you're risking, then the bigger shares you can go. As you can see here, I added 100 shares. The reason why I added 100 shares and now I have 200 shares is because it looks like the stock is under VWAP. I like that. It looks like it tried to break that VWAP and it rejected. And I'm looking at the time in sales and the level 2, and I just added 100 shares. Now, the mistake that I made here is I always emphasize on taking some sort of profits when this thing pulls back to the support level, which is where it's at right now. And as you can see, I'm not taking any profits, right? On my other trades, I usually take in a little bit of profit when at least half when it pulls back to support levels. Here I'm not, and I should have. Because as you can see, this thing is going to bounce. And I got into a separate trade of 300 shares, ITCI, as you can see on the portfolio, 300 share starter. That's a long position, highlighted by a green 300. So now back to the BFRA. BFRA, here we go. It's giving me a pullback to the 930 area. I should have taken a little bit of profit here, because as you can see pre-market, as you can see the lines, that's where it held pre-market, right? So it's wise to take a little bit here. If it washes out, great, you make more money. But if this thing bounces up, then you're not in a compromised position. You already capitalized on the move that it gave you in your favor, right? So I'm still holding it in, which means I was thinking that this could potentially go to, to the 8 area. Uh, and it did at the end of the day, it did go to the 8 area. Problem is, uh, uh, the mental play where, the price goes up and down, you're up $100, and now back to you're up only $20, and then you're going to go into a negative. That aspect of trading is very tough mentally. So it's always better to take some sort of profit on a support levels, so that way you actually can stay comfortable. Now, as you can see, I'm holding both trades. I took half on ITCI. That trade is happening on a separate on a side monitor where I put on my watch lists. I took it for a loss because my average, as you can see, was 28.64, but that thing went down to 28.50 and I took half. So I'm down $21 on the day, as you can see. Now, see when I'm in BFRA, I should have taken a little bit profit on that support level. Now it's bouncing back up, which means I'm actually, it's back on my average. Now I'm actually down on it. I was up on it almost $100 before, but now I'm actually down on that particular position. And as you can see, I am unrealized $30 down on my position. But as you can see, I'm not freaking out. I'm not trying to exit because I'm only in 200 shares and I have my set risk level, which is that $11 area. I'm just going to stay patient and I'm going to respect that. So in fact, I actually added here BFRA. The higher it goes, the more that you add. That's the benefit of having a smaller starter share size, is because first thing, you're not risking more. Second thing, the higher it goes, the more bullet that you have to add, right? So if you're thinking ultimately you want to play this 300 shares, then the higher it goes, the more you can add without losing a lot of money. I took off the other trade for a loss of $37. That was a long position, and we'll show you the chart later on. But yeah, I lost almost $40 on it. BFRA now, it's pulling back to my favor at the moment. I'm down $100 on a day. I just fast forwarded here. That's why I just skipped because there was a lot of up downs. Now, as you can see, I'm $140 down on a day. It looks like it's pulling up, and a lot of people, when it comes to here, they would freak out. Here I'm trying to add a BFR. I added here. Now I have 400 shares with almost $10 average. So a lot of people would freak out when stuff, when they see themselves down 100, $200 and start taking it off. Now this is relative, obviously, to the account size that you have. In my normal trading account, this is pretty much nothing, but this is a small account challenge that I'm doing with $2,000 in it. So, $100, $200 losses do count. So a lot of people would be covering into this push because it's going against them and they freak out. What you have to do is you set a reasonable risk level, and you determine that risk level by using the support and resistance levels. A resistance level is where the stock topped out previously, over and over again. It's a price where the stock consistently topped out. That would be used as a roof of the price. Obviously, that's the risk level you want to set because the stock already indicated that when it hits that 11.20 price, it pulls back down. It did it almost 3 times pre-market. So those are the levels that I'm watching. And the support level is, as you can see, the bottom, that 944 area. Pre-market, that's the area where the price, as it's falling down, that's the area that it bounced from. That's the area where it found a lot of buyers willing to pay for it that much. So as you can see, I'm just staying patient. I'm down $200. This is a really key point, because once you set a proper risk level, right now I'm almost down $300. So once you set a solid risk level, you have to play off of that, right? Don't anticipate that this looks strong, it's going to go and break 11, so I'm going to get out. Don't anticipate that. What you have to do is make sure, don't pick a random number. to use as a risk level. As a risk level. If you pick a random number as a risk level, then most likely you're just gonna lose because the stock does not actually respect those random numbers that you pick. What you want to do is you want to let the stock determine those levels, right? You want to let the stock determine those levels where the stock itself respects that price action, and then you want to leverage those to use them as a support and resistance level. So I'm still holding 400 shares. Now it looks like it's rejecting from that 1080 area. So when you're talking about the general support and resistance level, it's not one particular price. So I'm not looking at just $11, right? I want this thing to go to $11, and it could break 11. It could go to 11.20, 11.30. What I want to look at is, okay, is it gonna hold that 11 and go higher, or is it gonna hold that 11 and fall down? So when I would cut would be, let it go to 11, let it see what it does. If it breaks that 11 and it looks like it's about to go from 11 and higher, then if it's picking up momentum and it's picking up strength, well, that's when I cut it. Just because it touched 11, it doesn't mean I'm out automatically, right? Same thing, it's a general area that counts. Same thing with the support level. So that 940, 920 area is a general area where the stock would find buyers. It's basically this supply and demand play, right? So when it goes to 11, the stock would have more sellers. So people who bought around 9 area would sell, and it would find more sellers than it would have more buyers. And supply and demand, there's more sellers than buyers, price would recede back. And when it falls to the $9 area, it would find a lot of people who are willing to pay for it $9 because they think $9 for this particular stock is a good price. It's a good bargain to buy it at. So it finds buyers at 940 area. So at 940 area, there's a lot of buyers than sellers, right? So the price would fall into 940, and then it would find a lot of buyers and it goes up. So those are the areas that you want to play at, right? So don't ever have a one set, let's say a 10 cents risk or anything like that, because what you want to do is you want to have a general area where the stock could potentially find buyers and sellers and play off of that. So as you can see, I'm down 220, 240, almost 300 bucks. It's going against me. I'm sitting on my position. It looks very strong. It looks like it could go higher, but once you set those levels, you just gotta sit down and respect it. I cannot emphasize that enough, because a lot of people that I talk to, friends that I know, when it touched 11 per se, they would just get out quickly or cut it, or they would anticipate, oh, this is gonna go to 11, so why not cut it at 10.50 and save myself 50 cents. But if you play like that in the long run, you're just gonna end up losing money. So I'm just watching. I'm also noticing the volume that is coming. This particular stock at this level is being pushed by people, chat rooms, trying to buy it, trying to push it higher and stuff like that. So I'm also listening to that and focusing into that. As you can see, the volume, the green candles at the bottom, those are pretty much how many shares being bought and sold. I'm paying attention to that. You see, out of the gate at the open, it was very low volume. Right now the amount of shares being bought is pretty strong, but you have to keep in mind there's not going to be unlimited amount of buyers. Now all of these people who bought gonna turn into sellers. That's what I'm counting on. Right now, as you can see, red candle, a lot of sellers on that particular minute. I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit to kind of show you what happens after this struggle. There's a lot of fights here. Alright, this is another stock that I'm watching. It just hit the market scanner, popped up. I'm watching it. It looks like a nice move from 14.30 to 15.50, $1 per share. I'm thinking about having a starter position here. So I'm thinking about shorting it. Here we go. I put in an order to short it. Hasn't filled me yet. Yep, so I just had a starter with this one here. My average is at $15.33. And as you can see, I'm up almost $100 on the day, which means BFRA pulled back. I put it on a separate screen to monitor it. screen that I'm not recording. So I actually have six 32-inch monitors to kind of give me, you know, if there's something that I need to watch on the side or something like that, it gives me a lot of screen real estate, so I don't have to stress about it. As you can see, I'm up $150 on the day right now. This is, I just fast forwarded, this is the trade that I just got in. I took in 50 shares already. So I'm in 3 trades right now. I'm in DPHC as well. I'm in 100 shares on that one. I'm up almost $130, $130 on a day. So I'm still holding BFRA. I just took off DPHC, that trade. That's happening on a separate monitor. As you can see, I made only $15 on it. So pretty quick. So I'm just gonna fast forward here. So nothing happening. It was a very, now this is DPHC. As you can see, you know, it's that was the first trade. Now this is the second trade I'm in it. It's going against me. I already took half. So I was in 300 shares. I already took 150 for a loss. You see how it broke. Now this is a clear indication of what a bull, a very strong bullish stock looks like. It puts in lower high, puts in flat top, and it breaks that flat top. So this is called a flat top breakout. I'm shorting a stock that I know clearly to be, you know, a bullish stock. So now, as you can see, I'm down $100 on a day. I just added in this DPHC, which is a terrible thing because clearly I'm aware this is a very strong bullish stock. Now I'm trying to take off LAUR. I'm pretty sure I made, you know, decent amount on it. Got out of that one. I'm holding BFRA and I'm holding DPHC. Those are the 2 stocks I'm watching. So I'm out of this one. So skip to the next one. So BFRA, as you can see, already took 200 shares more as it's dropping. So I had 400 shares. Now I took 200. So that trade is happening on a separate monitor. Now this is another stock that just popped on the scanner, but it doesn't look too good, so I'm just skipping. Now DPHC, as you can see, I just lost $265. So altogether, I lost $300 out of 2 losses out of 3 trades, right? And I lost 300. The reason why I lost is because I got into a trade that I know clearly to be a long strategy. My actually long strategy, I'm shorting it, which is a terrible thing. So it's totally on my part. Now I got into DPHC again. Usually I have a rule where if I lost on a particular trade twice, then I just don't touch it, right? Now I'm going into this 3rd time. It looks like here it's the top, right? So I've been fighting the front side of this the whole time, right? So I'm shorting the front side and I'm losing. Now this looks like it's topping out, and I'm comparing to this to the yearly chart. I'll just fast forward here. I already have 300 shares starter. I'm waiting for this to drop so I can cover. So as you can see, it's dropping. I have fantasy order. Now what a fantasy order is, you put in an order to cover for a price that you think you want to cover it at. So when it drops suddenly, you'll be able to execute, right? So this looks like now the backside to me. I'm still sitting on those 300 shares. This puts me, I took half a profit on that, 150. I'm holding 150. This puts me about $70 on a day. So I'm putting fantasy orders right there. That's where I want to cover, but I'm quickly canceling it because I'm not sure because in my head I'm thinking previously I let a lot of the stocks, I covered them too quick, and you know, they went without me. So right now I'm trying to hold as much as I can. Now it's dropping. Now the problem is it's dropping here, and I'm trying to cover. I don't know why I'm frantically trying to exit this trade because it's actually working in my favor. The reason why this is because I fought the front side and I lost on it. Now I covered everything for a profit of $153 in that profit. So this, I got into another trade. The price of the stock is $53. Now I'm thinking this is the backside. I just had a starter of 100 shares, so my risk level is the height of that $59 area. So until, as long as it doesn't break that level, I'm comfortable holding this. In fact, I might add. So it's going up, and I'm down $74. So it's been a very tough day. I'm not really, the market has been very, very quiet. None of my strategies were in play. This isn't per se my A plus strategy. This is probably like my D or strategies. But this puts me down $100 down, still going against me, but I'm staying patient. I'm looking at that level 59 area. If it doesn't break that, I'm not covering. So again, having the mind frame, I added into this. Still, my risk level remains the same. That 99, 98 area. I'm holding now, dropping in my favor. I covered that half that I added. This puts me almost $300 up on the day, and I covered. So as you can see on this one, I was able to stay more patient because I didn't fight and I covered. You see all of that backside I made money on because I didn't fight the front side. Whereas in the other trades, I fought the front side. And once you fight the front side and you lose money on the front side, you can't stay patient on the back side. All right, this is another stock that went parabolic. I just had a starter on it. As you can see, 100 shares with a 36 dollar average. I have my fantasy order to cover at 35, and I'm thinking about adding if it goes back to the highs, because that 100 shares is just a starter. I want to go up to 300 shares. I want to add 3 times more into this particular trade. So this trade actually took a long time to cover. I think it went for about an hour. So I'll try to fast forward and get you guys the result. So in total, I'm up almost $300 on a day at this time. Pretty sure it's only 12 right now, so still have half a day to go. All right, guys, thank you. Thanks for watching.